been bullied at some point in their life. Bullying is a major problem in all our schools today. Today I'm going to talk to you about how many people are affected by this issue, what you can do, and some of the lasting effects it has on people. As I said, bullying is a huge issue in our school systems. To think it stops after high school isn't true. Anytime there's a social group, there's the possibility of bullying occurring. According to the National Center for School Statistics, a poll taken in 2009 shows that 28% of students from the ages of 12 to 18 have been bullied. And the majority of all of these are actually female students, which goes against the traditional idea of the male-on-male beating each other up bullying that you generally see in media. While 28% may not seem significant, that equals out to 1 in 4 students. Yet it seems certain groups are targeted with a far higher percentages. Usually these are minority groups. For example, what I saw on a blog called Bullying Ends With Me, 9 out of 10 LGBT students or lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students are bullied. But it not only affects their social lives, it can affect students' grades as well. On average, 160,000 students stay home from school each day to avoid bullying. And it's shown that more bullying occurs on school campuses than anywhere else. According to the Alice Echo News Journal, on average, 282,000 high school students every month are subjected to some kind of physical bullying and harassment. And it's also shown through statistics that 75% of school shootings are caused by bullying and harassment. In the age of the internet, what used to be your safe haven at home is no longer so because of cyberbullying. 97% of middle school students say they've been cyberbullied at least once, and even 47% of college students. Out of all the students, 58% report being cyberbullied on a regular basis. And most don't feel comfortable going to adults or parents about either form of bullying. In fact, only 58% will tell someone who can do something about this bullying about it. I mean, my friend's younger brother, Matthew, he is constantly bullied at school, and he won't tell anyone other than his sister because he doesn't think anybody else will listen. If you're wondering what you can do about it, there's a lot of different things. If you see bullying going on, step in to stop it. Don't just stand there and watch like so many people do. Reach out to the victims. Tell them you're there for them. Don't just leave them thinking they're all alone. Bullying Ends With Me petition has a petition that you can sign to say that you aren't going to bully someone, and you can also participate in National Bullying Awareness Month, which is October, as well as organizing events in your community. If you have children, take the time to sit down and talk with them. If they won't listen to you, you can do it through other mediums, such as shows. A personal example I like is the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and the episode One Bad Apple, where the characters deal with bullying, and it talks about the different types of bullying. Sometimes people will try and get back at the bully by bullying them in return, or people will pick on other people to avoid being bullied themselves. That actually happened to a good friend of mine in middle school because she was in a group of 4 friends, and if she didn't pick on one of the girls, the other 3 were going to pick on her. I really liked a quote they had from the show, however, which is done by the character Sweetie Belle, and we figured out you were just doing it to avoid getting picked on in Ponyville, but by then, we were the ones being bullied. And why does life have to be so ironic? anyway, it leaves huge problems and lasting scars in the lives of the victims. My entire life, I've been the victim of bullying. It's been for different reasons throughout my life, whether it being socially awkward, my religion, my sexuality, my weight, or even my interests. I was picked on all through grade school. For the most part, early on, it was because I was socially awkward, and I only had one other friend who was a guy. In the 7th grade, our principal decided it was unacceptable for a male and female student to be sitting together. So she forced us to sit with the other students. Coming from a small school, there was only 2 tables, the guys and the girls. I spent the last 2 years of middle school being tormented. They called me names, I couldn't escape it, and they'd antagonize me, calling me things like the leader's bitch and a dyke. I'm generally a pacifist, so I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't stand up for myself, and no one would stand up for me. It would continue whenever we went on down to recess because the teachers wouldn't be paying attention. They would try to steal my stuff and they'd push around the younger kids. I'm a little bit odd, I admit, because I refuse to let anyone else get bullied, but I won't stand up for myself. So I made them stop bullying the younger kids, but it only turned their anger towards me instead. I thought everything was going to be okay when I went to high school. I even picked a high school that was far out of the way because nobody else went there. I mean, I had to drive 30 minutes to get there, but that was fine with me. I could finally get away from them. The first 2 years of high school were great. I wasn't picked on very much except for my interest on occasion, but I could get over it. I had friends. Grade school sure it did haunt me, but I tried to put it in the past. But things went badly junior year. I decided that it was finally time that I came out of the closet with my bisexuality, and I thought my friends would be okay with it because one of our other friends was. But as soon as they found out, they deserted me. They also, because of my girlfriend, started slut-shaming me, which is where they essentially bully a person because they're sexually active. My senior year was miserable. I fell in with 2 other female students who were bullied, one of which was a drug addict and the other who was just not fitting in and failing all her classes. And the day after I graduated, one of the girls I had spent the year with and gotten so close to committed suicide because of the bullying that she'd faced. She was not only facing bullying at school, but at home as well from her parents. And she was living with her boyfriend, and it just drove her over the edge. While in college, I moved on trying to keep a sense of optimism, but I was picked on for being socially awkward yet again. And I was bullied by the person I'd given up so much for, my ex-girlfriend. She was the only person to actually physically bully me. I finally got the courage to break up with her, thinking it would get better, but it only got worse. She started giving a bunch of false rumors about me, and if you all are wondering why I failed out of U of L, it's because I no longer had any social group, and I resorted to locking myself in my dorm room, only coming out to eat and wandering the campus at night, trying to find some solace. The only reason I still have friends today is because a couple of them decided to hear my side of the story and realized the things she said couldn't be true because I'm not that kind of person. I was miserable, and I considered ending my own life, but 2 things saved me. As silly as it sounds, I found solace and was able to forget my troubles when watching the show Saint Seiya, and then I found the website Tumblr. It's been a place where, while they are online friends, everyone there has opened their arms and their hearts to me, and it's kept me going. I thought maybe I'd have a new chance here at TC to be happy, but the group I fell in with, 2 of the members started making fun of me, always calling me Piggy instead of my name, and I just decided to walk away because I couldn't take it. So, in conclusion, I've told you about bullying, I've told you the effects it can have, and I've told you about my story. I hope that I've left you with something tonight, and you'll remember to help those people who are being picked on, and next time you might consider saying something horrible to someone, maybe you'll stop and think. I've learned a lot throughout all of this, and I hope I can just leave you with a little part of what I've had. Just remember that the only way I've found to stop bullying is to stand up and to speak out. Thank you. Sorry. And yeah, someone said I should put the silly ones in the end because it looks too serious.